everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is a little warmer today, Coach.
Yes, it is.
We'll take it
We
while
will.
we can.
Absolutely.
Until it's 2. This is the beginning of the week, but we won't talk about that. But our guest today is, of course, Jackson High School girls coach. Do we say women or girls?
Girls still.
Girls. Okay.
Yes.
Girls coach, Chad Carpenter. And, of course, some of the players are here.
Yeah.
As well. And so welcome. We're so happy to have you
Thanks
here.
for having us here.
Of course, and we look forward to hearing how the season's going and then how your first year as head coach is going as well. All right, very good. So let's have a break, and we'll be back with Coach and find out all that he has to say. We'll find out some dirt on these girls, too, I have a feeling.
Absolutely.
Or we'll find out some dirt on the coach from
Maybe
the
both.
girls. Okay, we'll be right back.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
All right, and we are back with Jackson High School girls coach Chad Carpenter, and we are going to find out how their season is going this year. So, Coach, how are things going? How are you doing? This is your first year.
It's my first year as a head coach. Correct.
You've
I
been
think-
around the block a time or two as assistant.
Yeah, I think
right?
21 years now as an assistant somewhere here or there, boys and girls side. So first year as a head coach, it's been great. Record-wise, people necessarily wouldn't think that. Still searching for that elusive first win, but
Hey, you'll get
we
it.
have a great group of girls, and we're amazed every week in practice that the attitudes are good, because basketball is a long season, and if they don't go well, kids could check out. But we have a really
that's
good
true.
group of girls with great attitudes, and I think success is right around the corner here.
I think you're right, and but it is tough as a team. So last year's team was full of seniors.
Correct.
This year's team is full of very young
Underclassmen.
underclassmen, and so while you went out, last year was a whole bunch of experienced players. So we're just rebuilding. I know you hate that. Do
It
coaches
seems
hate that
unfair.
term?
It seems unfair to the senior on the
Yes.
team, but it is a rebuild. But it's going to be worth it when the kids see the fruits of their labor.
They're going to, and what a good group of girls you have. And so tell us a little bit about your career in basketball.
So, right out of college, I guess I started coaching middle school basketball at Wellston, where I graduated
Where'd
from.
you go to college?
I went to Rio,
Okay.
so I was able to do both.
Okay,
So
awesome.
I coached 3 years of middle school then. Took a few years off, came back, I think, in 2005 and coached under TJ May, who's now the head men's coach at Concord University.
Okay.
After he left, I did another year under Bruce Hurst as the boys' assistant. Took a couple years off, came back for 2 years at Jackson with the boys with Heath McInnes,
Yes.
who's now the head coach at Oak Hill.
Yep.
And then when he left, I spent 7 years as an assistant with Matt Combs at Vinton County High School
Oh, okay.
on
I
the
didn't
boys'
know
side.
that.
Yeah, that's where I work. So
Oh, okay.
did
So
7 years
You
there.
coach at Jackson, but you work at Vinton County.
Correct.
Okay. All
Yes.
right.
And once my oldest daughter got to 8th grade, I coached those girls in the 8th grade and then became Matt's assistant in the last 4 years.
Very cool. And so Coach Walburn, if you will, well, he's one of my besties. We went to school all through school together, so he's been stuck with me. I always say that you can blame me for his bad ankle. Did you know he had a bad ankle?
I did not know that, but
Yeah.
I've not seen him do a lot of physical activity in a long time. So
Gym class, soccer, bad. Jen and Matt going after the ball. It
You
ended
won.
badly. Well, his ankle did not.
right.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And fun fact about Matt's ankle is in high school, he came down on top of my husband's foot
Okay.
and broke his ankle.
Oh.
So I think that Jamie and Jen are fully responsible for Coach Walburn's
It's the
bad
reason
ankle.
his basketball career is over right
yeah.
now.
Sorry, buddy, but I still love you. But no, so you ended up because your daughter, do you have one daughter or two?
I have 3 daughters.
3 daughters.
Yeah,
How
I
did I
know.
not know that? Played last year. So
Yes.
do you have daughters within the program though?
I
Right?
do. Sydney, who you're going to talk to here in a little
Uh-huh.
bit. TJ, my oldest, is a freshman at Marietta College playing basketball.
Okay.
And then my youngest, Peyton, is a freshman and is on the team as well.
Oh, okay. So oh my gosh, it's a family affair. So tell us a little bit about, you've done kind of coaching at the college and high school and middle school, girls, boys.
Yeah.
Let's talk about all the differences of that.
So I never thought I'd want to coach girls basketball.
I mean, I can see
So after, I don't know, 15 years with boys, it's
it would be
uber
challenging.
competitive. Boys everybody wants to be the alpha and everything. So you go to girls, and I've enjoyed it a lot more than I ever anticipated. I don't know that I'd ever go back.
Really?
Girls listen probably sometimes to a fault. Like they just want to please you. I feel like you tell them to do something, and they're going to listen. They're going to do everything to the best of their ability. The struggle is
We're
sometimes.
more responsible. Is that what you're saying?
I did not say that at all. Sometimes the struggle is, getting them to think on their own rather than,
Yeah.
if we tell them to do one thing, then they think that they have to do that all the time. But
Gotcha.
their heart's in the right place. So,
Yes, absolutely. And so, as you have been coaching at Jackson for how many years did you say now?
This last stint with the girls, this would be year 6.
Okay. And until now, you've as the assistant coach. So, what are the challenges or the differences between being the head coach now and being the assistant?
I think just now, your name is on it. You're responsible for it. The basketball, the day-to-day, the game planning and everything really hasn't changed. It's just, I feel like the administrative stuff.
Okay.
Ordering uniforms or, making sure the girls' subway is ready, on road trips and practice plans and practice schedules and things like that. Once you get to the game and practice, I feel like everything's pretty much the same. Our whole staff, we are all interchangeable. We all do the same things, so.
Well, but you do have to kind of be like the concierge of getting them all situated in the right direction.
Yes, correct.
Is that like herding cats?
It is at times, yes.
I'll ask them about it, but who picks out the uniforms? Do you guys pick out your uniforms? You get to?
They had a say.
They had a say.
Yeah.
Do they change every year?
No, it's usually you wear them for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, let's just be honest. If you look at, the basketball uniforms in the 80s versus the 90s versus now, whatever, styles even change.
Everything's full circle.
Yeah.
The shorts now are the length that we hated back then.
The,
we
like,
had to wear
short ones?
hand-me-downs. Yes, they're short.
Well, as guys, that's really weird.
Yeah, we wore compression shorts under our short shorts just so you try to show off as little leg as possible. But now that's kind of the trend, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Now we're all back to the same thing.
Yeah, when I take them out of the washer, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe.
Really? Do I have to?
Yeah.
I love that. So let's talk about the team as a whole. You do have a lot of underclassmen there. So, how does that work out?
It's honestly really good. We have, so by OHSAA rules, kids can play 6 quarters a night. So we have a lot of kids who play 3 to 4 quarters of JV and then can play,
They
up
can
to
play
6.
on both.
They can play both. So we have
Oh,
16
didn't know
kids in our program. You have to share kids. Our number is pretty standard. Some teams have less, some teams have a couple more. So you do have to share players. So we have some freshmen who probably aren't ready to play varsity basketball
Okay.
that are they have to just because of the situation we're in.
I
So they'll
gotcha.
get to play 3 or 4 quarters of JV and then get to move up and play 3 or 4, somewhere between 2 and 4 quarters of varsity. And it's been a great experience for them. They're getting thrown in the fire.
Lack of better words, thrown to the wolves, literally.
Correct, yes.
But think about what they're learning and the confidence they're building along the way,
absolutely.
too.
We'll see that growth.
Yeah.
In the future. This year, we've had some bumps along the way, but we've had, the three that you're talking to all have a little bit of varsity experience, varying. Sydney started for us last year. Lillian came off the bench and had a few minutes, and then Lauren she dressed varsity and got some spot minutes on varsity last year.
Awesome.
But outside of that, we don't have a lot of varsity experience from last year. So
yeah, it's a blessing and a curse to have all seniors.
It is. It's
right?
nice while they're there.
Yeah. Then when they all go bye-bye, it's like, no,
yeah,
I get that. And, you had, of course, some of the seniors last year and your daughter and then Maddie.
Right.
I'm not sure if anyone else is playing at the college level, but they're doing quite well at the college level, too.
Yeah,
so.
just the two of them are playing, Maddie and TJ. They're in the same conference, so they play each other twice a year. Which is it's cool. We were able to go see
fun.
The first game at Otterbein. We were able to go watch that one. There were a lot of people from Jackson there that day to see them both. I think we have a game when they play at Marietta, so we'll be able to check that one out. But yeah, the other two seniors there, Sydney Hughes goes to Cedarville and Kinsey Davis goes to Wilmington. So yeah.
Very good. And they so when you get the two together at the college level, are they like friends on the when they're playing against each other? Are they friends on the
There was
court,
a quick
or?
little jab, like they ended up guarding each other, and it was kind of you saw the smile, and then it was pretty much over after that. Like they didn't take any time to hug on the court. Of course they got their picture after the game and everything.
Of course.
So
It's all business until afterwards.
Correct. Yeah.
I gotcha. So what is a day in the life of a girls basketball coach? Obviously you have your day job, right?
Correct.
You teach, right?
I work I'm the assistant treasurer.
Assistant treasurer
at
the school. So you are at Benton County, and then you have to come to Jackson,
right?
To do practices and stuff. So what is that like?
Well, so on a normal day, practice day, I go and do my work. I at some point try to find some free time to put a practice plan together. All three of our coaches, myself, Zoe Smith, and Tyler Jeffers, we'll work on a practice plan together. Basically, we try to practice as early as possible. I can get back to 4:30.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll go a little earlier because Tyler will start them in the weight room before practice.
Gotcha.
We go until 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then we're done. On a game night, it's, get on the bus at 3:30, 2 games, get home 9:30 or 10, try to watch a little bit of film, put things together for the next practice, the next game, whatever it may be. But there's not a lot of downtime this time of year, honestly.
I would say. Now, how long does the basketball season last for the girls?
First practice, I believe, was October 25th, and our last regular season game is February 8th. So, we're talking
like 4 months?
3 to 4 months,
Yeah.
depending on how long of a tournament run you would make. It could go into mid-March.
Sure. Now, I know that I think Pete was telling me that you guys go on the road there for a minute.
Let's see.
It's like
we were
for a minute.
Yes, January 4th we were at home, and our game last Saturday was canceled. That was a home game, so we're not back until the 27th. So
that's rough.
Road warriors for a little bit,
Yeah.
but we get 3 home games in a row there at the end of the season, which will be nice.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys like to go on the road? No. Bus? Is it the bus or just going on the road in general? The bus? Yeah, I don't know that anyone's ever been like, I can't wait to get on a school bus. Nothing against school buses. It's just like getting on a bus and having to travel and not having that home court.
Yeah, a few years ago we won the league on the road, and it was a fun bus trip home.
I'll bet.
Other than that, no. Nobody
like,
signs up to ride the bus.
Yeah, nobody's like, woohoo.
Right.
Well, very good. So what are your plans and the girls are working their butts off and working toward that first win. What are your plans for the future in building these girls up as they are so young?
They are. So it's skill work pretty much every day. We still do game planning for each opponent, but it is skill work so they can improve their individual game. And we've tried to be as involved with the youth as possible. We're all, they work Bitty League games on Saturdays. They do everything they can.
I think that Saturday thing's really
It's
cool.
great with
Yeah,
all the
that's
awesome.
awesome.
Participation. Numbers are so important. I mean,
Yes.
that's the biggest thing. If we can get numbers, then it'll grow the program.
Sure.
Our kids are supportive. They help. We have ones that'll tutor younger kids, workout kids that want to do extra. They all went as a team yesterday and watched the junior high girls and had their own cheer block at the middle school games, which I think went really well. So, I think the biggest thing is just getting the youth involved, and you try to eliminate some of these ups and downs so we can be more consistent.
Well, and you're exactly right. You think about, you can't start in the 9th grade and learn how to play basketball.
Yeah, it's probably too late.
I mean, you can, but it's much more advantageous to learn when you're young.
Absolutely.
And then, team building, you think, okay, well, this class has been playing together for however long, and
Right.
then so on and so forth. So they have that team camaraderie as well.
Yeah, it's good. And those 3rd graders, they look up to those
Of
high school
course.
girls. They love to see them,
Yeah.
when they're there.
You
And,
guys are princesses.
yeah. So hopefully one day these kids will be sitting here and say, that Sydney or Lauren or Lil, sparked an interest in them, and that's what made them love
Absolutely.
basketball.
Love that. Absolutely. All right. Well, what is your biggest challenge of coaching girls? I told you I was going to put you on the spot.
The biggest challenge. I do have 2 daughters on the team. That's the challenge.
Dad, shut up.
Correct. Trying to separate that.
That would be a challenge, I
Yeah.
think.
And as much as they listen, there are emotions involved. There are tears from time to time, which you don't see on the boys' side. So
Yeah.
that's a challenge. And
Yeah.
then trying to figure out a way to still push them to be competitive and at the same time recognize that it is a game. So
It is a
it's
game.
a fine line.
Yes.
Like there's nothing wrong with having expectations, but
There's not. And emotions,
right,
And we girls tend to be a little more emotional than boys.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. We'll just leave it at that.
Correct.
Well, very good. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you coming in this morning, and I'm anxious to talk to the girls, see what they're feeling about the season, and what their expectations are for the future as well. So, all right. So, Coach Chad Carpenter, we appreciate you stopping by, and we are going to take another message, and we will be back with 3 of the Jackson Iron Ladies basketball team.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with the weather forecast where so here's the thing. It's going to be warmer today. We should have some thaw, hopefully, in the forecast. And as you can see, well, that forecast is wrong, but today's Friday. So 39 today, somewhere around that 40-degree range. And then tomorrow as well, with hopefully some rain showers that will help get some of that snow moved away. However, the beginning of our work week looks a little on the, shall we say, frigid side. But, we're not going to talk about that till Monday. So welcome, girls. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, anytime you're welcome. So could you all just please introduce yourselves? Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Sydney Carpenter. I'm a junior.
I'm Lillian Mapes. I'm a sophomore.
And I'm Lauren Walber, and I'm also a sophomore.
Okay, very good. So you all really are young. Very good. So how long have you all been playing basketball? And how did you get started in basketball?
I've been playing basketball since probably when rec league started, so first, second grade.
Okay.
I started playing basketball because TJ, my older sister, played, so that's kind of how I got involved.
A family affair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I started playing basketball around the same time. But I think it was just one of the things. It's like, oh, me and my cousin just want to do this together, and so it was just like, I don't know.
That's cool.
So-
And then it just stuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then I probably also started playing around that same time, and like my whole family's in basketball with my uncle being used to being the head coach, and then my cousin playing. So we kind of all bonded over that as when we were younger. So yeah.
Very good. See? All these family affairs. Very good. So if you're talking about you and your sister, who's better?
She's probably better at basketball. I'll give it to her. I mean, I always try to be better, but I think she's got me.
No, I think that you're great in your own right. So I think that's awesome. Is that tough to have like sibling rivalry though, or does it make you better?
I think it makes you better. I mean, I always loved having TJ there playing basketball, and Peyton now having my sisters there was always so much fun. I think it pushed me. Obviously, there was a few fights, and we had a little attitude toward each other every once in a while. But overall, honestly, it just makes you better. It helps you push yourself.
Well, very, very good. So tell us, what is like a day in the life of you all? So you get up, you go to school, and then, you don't go home. You do your next thing. So what does that look like?
Well, we all go to school, and then some of us get to go home between practices because it just depends on what time. But then we either stay after school or we go to practice, and then after practice, get something to eat, go home, do homework, and then take a shower and then do homework.
Try to
and
fit
then-
as much homework
Yeah.
in between school and practice as you can. So.
Yeah.
Busy days.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's evidently a very long season of that. So now, do you all practice every day?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
We've been lucky to get a few Saturdays off. Well, we normally have games on Saturdays, so we don't have to practice, and then we'll get a Sunday off. But, it's normally every day. The beginning of the season, we had like 3 games a week, so we did end up having to have optional practices on Sundays. So getting through those first weeks, it was pretty hard because we practiced or played a game. We had basketball 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So it was hard.
Yeah.
But
Lots of basketball.
we got through that, so everything's kind of winding down. We have days here and off here and there now, so it's better.
Yeah.
Well, very good. So being a young team, what do you think are the advantages of that and then the challenges of that?
Some of the advantages is definitely that we have more time to grow together as a team. Like all of us, we're only losing one senior next year, so we'll come
Okay.
back. And I think the team chemistry, it's only going to get better. Like we add people from the middle school, and I hope we're not losing anyone other than Ella because she'll graduate. So I think the team chemistry, just having more time to build, I think that will help us. Being a young team, I think it's hard just stepping up leadership roles. I think none of us really know how to. We had the seniors last year, obviously.
Yeah, you looked up to them, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into that spotlight as underclassmen.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the most challenging. He asks us all the time, someone needs to step up, and I think it's hard, especially for girls. None of us want to step on each other's toes. Obviously, we all respect each other. So we're just trying to find a balance between leadership and friendships. I think that's probably the most difficult thing for us.
I do think that since we are all so young, we all can share opinions, and so we'll listen to freshmen, or if Sydney's trying to talk, everyone will listen, or if a freshman has something to say, it doesn't matter who's talking, we all just we all get to listen, and we all have input.
Yeah, I guess that is true because you feel kind of you're all equals because nobody's the queen bee senior.
Yeah.
Well, there's one, but there's not all of those seniors just telling you how it should be.
It's definitely easier to talk to each other. And Ella's not super vocal, but that's just how she is.
She's
she
shy.
can lead in
Yeah.
other ways. So,
Yeah. So we all, I think, especially during games and at half times, we can really come together and talk to each other better. Especially it's just us being so young. It's definitely difficult having the freshmen from coming up to from 8th grade to varsity basketball is definitely tough. But we're not gonna give them any leeway in that because it is hard. But they have to step up. So
Yeah, I get that completely. No, that's fun that you all can grow together. Yeah, because typically it wouldn't be that way.
No.
yeah.
Very cool. So what do you think, let's just be honest, there haven't been a lot of victories in your season. So what do you think needs to happen to get that first win? Do y'all have a game plan, or what are you thinking?
I just think we need to put 4 quarters together. I mean, we've struggled to put a
Yeah.
whole game together. Obviously, we'll play good in the first 2 quarters, and then we'll come out after halftime and be really slow and down, and we'll give up like 20 points in the third quarter, and I think that's what kills us. So putting together a full game of basketball where we follow the game plan, we stick to the scouting report, I think that's just really crucial for us to get our first win. And once we do that, I believe it will happen.
And just trying to keep our being consistent, putting
Yes.
4 quarters together,
Yeah.
but also like not making all these little mistakes that just keep adding up and stuff like that. So
Which also come from being young.
yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
Yeah. As you're learning. So, yeah, give these girls a break. You guys are doing great. And I think though, I mean, I think by all accounts you all are putting in the work and you're learning a lot as it goes. So, all right, let's talk about these uniforms for a minute. So, what kind of say do you get? Did you get to pick a uniform this year, or are they the old ones from last year?
Now we got
we got new
all new
ones.
uniforms, travel gear, new bags. We basically got everything, all new
Yeah.
stuff this year.
Yep.
I was able to help a lot because obviously my dad is a coach, so he asked me for a lot of opinions, and I know I sent it on to a few people and was like,
Yeah.
how do we feel about this, and just kind of got their opinions on it. But yeah, we did have a say, so that was nice.
Yeah.
So how do because this is girl talk, right? So like how do trends change with the uniforms? Like we were talking about the shorter shorts and then the long shorts and all of that. Like where are we at right now with it? Is everything kind of form fitting and tight, or is it?
I think ours fit pretty like in between.
I think
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think like our shorts aren't super short,
Yeah.
but they're not super long.
And if you
It's
want them
like-
shorter, you can like roll them. That's like the new thing, like rolling shorts. So
Okay.
it just depends, like in between all of
Yeah,
us.
I definitely don't want my shorts like all the way down to my knees.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So I roll them a few times, a little
Yeah.
bit shorter, but
Yeah.
That makes sense. And it depends on how tall you are too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not volleyball shorts, so
Yeah.
that's a whole other story. I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
So what all other sports do you all play? Other sports as well?
yeah, I do soccer and then I run track in the spring.
Okay. I also do that.
And then I play softball.
Okay, fun. Very, very good. So what's your favorite sport to play now that the coach is sitting here? No
Mine's
pressure.
soccer for sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's probably track.
Mine's basketball.
Okay. Very good. So what do you guys do in basketball first? What positions do you play?
I'm a point guard, but I would say we're all guards.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Just varies in
something.
our,
Yeah.
in our-
Depends on who's doing
On the
what.
court, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And then when you are not playing basketball and you're playing soccer, what do you do with that?
Soccer, I'm normally a forward or a midfielder, so more for the offensive. I'm more of an attacking person. I like to score goals. Defense really isn't my thing in soccer.
I'm like a midfield. Sometimes I drop back on defense, like they'll put me at like a defensive mid or something, but I'm normally a wing.
Okay.
So
And then in softball, I play outfield, and then I sometimes hit. I'm not a super good hitter, so I'm not always in the lineup. But I do my part on the
Girl, we gotta get you
outfield.
some guns.
Trust me, Coach Jeffers has been getting us in the weight room. So
yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna say, do they have you in the weight room pumping iron all the time?
We do.
Yeah.
we try
About twice a week.
Yeah,
Twice
2
a
times
week,
a
yeah.
week.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that like weird, or is it like fun?
I think it's fun.
Honestly, we
I-
all
yeah,
love it.
I think we all
Yeah.
enjoy it a lot.
So do you guys have, just in high school in general, do you all still have gym class and all of that, or is that like a thing?
So you have to take you have to take a gym class if you're not involved in a sport or
Yeah.
band,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you're involved in a sport, normally people don't take a gym
Yeah.
class, but
So like, that's like your PE credit.
Yeah.
I think. So if you're in a
it's like one
Yeah.
sport a year or
Yeah.
something. So
Oh, yeah, we had to take gym class.
we need to take it. in
My
middle
point
school.
was, in gym class, they would take us to the weight room, and so you've got like girls and guys,
Well, they
and it
still
was
do
just
that.
like really weird.
Yeah, I think they still do that.
yeah,
I
they
think
might
Coach
still
Steve-
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what to do in here. But no, that's really fun. So what does the future hold for you all? I know that you're kind of younger, but like, do you have ideas of what you want to do as when you grow up?
I don't. I probably should be thinking about that. I'm a junior, so I'll have.
It
one more
bugs
year to
me that you
figure
feel
out.
like you should be thinking about that. I hate that. I think it's criminal, but anyway.
I thought like just something in the medical field, probably like PT school or something, but I'm obviously just sophomore. So
Yeah,
you know.
just having fun with it
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now. You should.
I've thought stuff like sports media maybe or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure on what I want to do either.
No, and you shouldn't be. And I just feel it always makes me angry when I think there's so much pressure put on you all to have to know what you want to do for the rest of your lives and at 17 years old. And I just think that's really sad because I still don't know what I want to do with my life. Still haven't figured that out yet. So what other programs are you all involved in at the school? Did you say you were in the media team as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that like?
So the media team this year, I'm what is it called? Video lead, I would say. I think
Yeah.
that's what it calls it.
Executive.
Yeah.
something
There's
like
some
that.
name
Something,
for
yeah.
it, but
I don't know what I am.
Yeah, so I make a lot of like hype videos, like all of the boys' football hype videos. I make those, and then I don't make the motion graphics. That's what Lauren does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
just
do
any
some of that
preseason hype video or hype video you'll see at a game before they start, I make those, and we also go and film sports so we can get the
Yeah.
footage for those.
I'm basically Sydney's assistant. So I'm kind of when like she graduates, I'll probably kind of take over, but you know, just kind of a team for right now.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I just do a little bit of everything. I make graphics. Like this year, I did like the starters for football, and then me and my friend Taylor, we do the board graphics for basketball, and just I take photos, and I sometimes take videos to help them out. So that's just kind of a little bit of everything.
Well, I want to give you all in the media team a big shout out because, because of you all, like for example, when we opened the tap room at Sixth Sense, someone said, "Oh, you could play the games," and I'm like, nobody's gonna want to watch high school football. Like, are they? And I started putting the games on, and if you walk through, and you guys produce that, right? If you walk through, the entire place is looking at the TVs that have the high school football game on, and they're not watching anything else. So I was completely wrong about that because so many people are from out of town. I just assumed that they wouldn't, but they do care and they enjoy it. And I want to, just give you all a shout out because it is so professionally produced. It is like amazing to me what you all do.
That's
you.
all.
And
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
looks,
that-
it
that does mean a lot.
looks like, I mean, if you're looking, you're not seeing any difference between ESPN and what you guys are doing. Like, I mean, it's really that good. And I think anything that you can learn when it comes to that is definitely going to help you out in the future. So did you guys learn how to do all the graphics and stuff like in school, or did you learn on your own, or how did that work?
Yeah, I think
Is there a class?
We have
Yeah, we have
classes,
media
but a lot of the
classes, yeah.
stuff that we like, the more advanced stuff we do, like we have to learn on our own,
Yeah.
or like we have a teacher that helps us that's not necessarily taught in class, but like there are classes.
But you
for
have
it.
guidance, which is great. So
Yes.
learn everything that you can when it comes to
big
that.
shout
Yeah.
out to Mr. Rippeth.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Ripa,
He does
you're
a great
awesome.
job.
He definitely works with our schedules well. Like if we have practice and stuff, to like make sure that we can get to games and do like our jobs and make sure we get everything done. So he is a great teacher.
Very good. And I know, I think Dylan was part of the media team a few years ago now, and learned a lot there. And of course, he's working here now, so that's a very good thing. Putting the show all together. So, we're talking about you.
No.
Were your ears burning?
No.
He just walked in the door. Well, very good. So, what are you hoping for the future of Jackson girls basketball? What are you all thinking?
Hopefully we can continue to grow and we have a more successful season next season. I know this one's rough, but it's a growing season, rebuilding. So hopefully we can get a few more wins next year and just show everyone, get to show off our growth that we had this season. I know that it's hard to think about the future right now because everyone's just kind of like upset about the losses. Like losing's not fun.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose, but hopefully we can just grow from that and maybe get back to how the seasons were in the past, like the past few years with the seniors we had last year. Hopefully we can have the success that they did.
Yeah.
I'd say that's definitely the goal.
Yeah. I think we'll definitely like be used to playing with each other next year for sure. So I think it will make it a little bit easier, and just like Sydney said, get a couple more wins in next year.
So hone those skills, Put the four quarters together.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think one of these days you all are going to go out on the court and you're going to put those four quarters together and you're going to be like, where has this been all our lives? Now we're on it. Now we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. You guys are certainly destined for greatness. So yeah, absolutely. So what would you say? As Coach Carpenter said, there's so many young girls up and coming, playing Little League or playing in junior high, who are looking up to you. And what would you say to those girls? What could they do now to, be better later? Or what would you say to encourage them to keep it up?
I think just always keeping a positive attitude because I know at the beginning of the season I struggled a lot with keeping it calm on the court and we weren't our season didn't start off great. So it was hard you go you start the season and the first couple games you don't have a win and it's just you kind of get down on yourself, but it is really it makes our season 10 times better that we all come in with a good attitude and we work hard all the time, every practice. And it doesn't matter who we are, if we had a bad day at school or anything, you just have to turn that off and you kind of just have to it's basketball time, it's probably the most important.
I would say definitely just stay involved with the Little League. That helps you so much. I know we all played rec basketball. Any travel team you can get on, I think that's always very helpful. You don't have to be on a travel team. I mean, if you just take a basketball out on your driveway and practice, definitely just, if you know that you want to play, I would just continue to practice and get better.
Yeah.
I would say don't let basketball define you because sometimes after losses I'm like, oh, I could have done this better, I could have done this more, and I would think about it the rest of the night. But there's so much more to life than basketball, so just always remember that it's not it doesn't define you, and there's so much more that defines you as a person.
And that's a good advice to kind of find that happy medium in your life where I think as Coach said, sometimes it's hard to remember it is a game.
Yeah.
It's just a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though all of us want to win and all of us want to win championships and do all of that stuff, I think what you said is very smart because it's at the end of the day, when you're 40 years old, it's probably not going to matter that much. So, but you certainly want to give it your all while you're doing it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. But no, I think that the little kids, if they can just keep with it and keep practicing, and you're right, it's not even hard to find a basketball hoop nowadays. Everybody's got the little. We used to have to put basketball hoops on our garage, nail them to the garage, and then everybody's garage doors looked like they'd been shot. But yeah, it's a lot easier now with technology and all that. Plus, you guys have such a beautiful facility up there.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yes, we're very lucky.
Yeah.
Very, very fortunate. All right. Well, what else do you have going on the rest of the school year? We have a few minutes before we do news. So, what's it like without basketball? Like a day in the life of just a teenager in high school?
Oh, it's still pretty busy. Junior year, I would say, has definitely been my hardest year of high school so far.
Has it?
Yeah. So, and then also, I'm involved with a lot of clubs. I know these two are as well. So it's pretty busy. Normally, most mornings I have to get there pretty early, 7:30 for a meeting of one of the clubs, and then go through a full day of school. And it's still pretty busy. A lot of work.
Yeah.
Sophomore year still it's not bad. It is a step up from freshman year because freshman year is the easiest year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But so there is more responsibility, a little more work. The classes get a little bit harder, but it's still still a good day of school.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I'd say the same as Lillian because sophomore year is a big step from freshman year in my opinion. Yeah.
So let's see. You are at the high school from 9th grade on, or is it 10th?
Yes,
9th grade on. Okay. Yeah, they changed when I was in a few years ago. Don't laugh. They were changing it all around. So I was the first where Northview is now was Lick School, and my 7th grade year they made that a 6th and 7th grade because before that. What's the middle school now? 7 through 12 went there. which is the middle school now. But that's where I went to high school. But like, so it was really bad for the young kids because, you know, you've got 12th graders and 7th graders.
Yeah.
So they moved 6 and 7 out to Lick, which became the middle school, which is now Northview. And so I was the first 7th grade class at Lick. And so it was really, there was so much transition then, it was like really confusing.
Yeah.
We never had to ride buses before, and we had to ride buses there, and it was like a whole thing. So I didn't know like what the deal was now. But so what are your favorite subjects in school? Or is there one?
Honestly, my favorite is media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
If media
me-
counts.
Yeah, if media counts, it's media for sure.
Go, Mr. Rippon. Very good. Okay, besides media, if you had to pick a subject, what would it be?
I like history sometimes,
Okay.
but I think sometimes math makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. I
feel you.
I don't love math that much, but I'd say probably learning about history.
Okay.
I'm taking a geopolitics class this year. I think that's pretty cool just to learn about other places around the world, and I think that's pretty interesting. So this year, that's probably my favorite because it's my least stressful class for sure.
So is that like you're learning about politics in other countries, or?
So it's more like, it's like map related. So I guess we just learn about everything. Like we've learned about the different foods, landforms. Right now we're doing a project on national parks around the world. So I think that's pretty cool. Just learning about all the smaller stuff.
Yeah, very neat. Is there anywhere you want to visit that you've like learned about? You're like, oh man, that sounds cool.
I don't even know.
All of them.
Yeah, I mean, all of them are like, oh my gosh, like I would definitely go there. So
Very cool.
I'm in art this year, so I definitely like art. It's a really chill class. So it's
Yeah.
It's
Are you?
definitely less stressful than other ones.
Yeah, and it's a good outlet for stuff. I was
Yeah.
never very artistic.
It's
Oh.
definitely sometimes hard, but
I can
it's
see that.
enjoyable.
So, like, yeah, because, like, growing up, we had to take gym and art and music and all of that stuff. Like, that was a thing that you just had to take. And I was like,
We
oh,
had to
God.
take gym in middle school, but now at the high school you don't have to.
Because
You
you're
play a
in
sport.
sports.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes total sense. I don't know why you would have to take gym and then play a sport because it's, you know, you're doing the same things.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Okay. Well, what would you like to tell our viewers? You know, when are the games? When can people come out and see you and support you? Because we hope the community comes out and supports these girls. They are working so hard.
We definitely always have a pretty okay crowd at
Yeah.
home games, and our next one is the 27th, right?
Yep. January
Yeah,
27th.
Yeah, we have
Miami
this like
Trace.
we have a little
long
break.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
away games.
Yeah. So we actually just want to thank the community because even though our
Yeah.
record's not that
Yeah.
good, they still continue to come out and support us all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
so,
we really
yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We know it's probably they're not the easiest games to sit through sometimes,
I've been told that girls basketball gives them anxiety. I'm some of my
I
friends.
think I can see that. I can
Yeah.
see that. No, girls get scrappy.
Oh,
They do.
Yeah.
Like, what's
Yeah.
the craziest thing that's happened to you guys in a game? Because girls pull hair and they do all kind of crazy stuff.
I think I've had my hair pulled sometime this season that I had to fix
Or
it.
a little shove sometimes.
I got cut by that knee brace.
Oh yeah, I got cut by a knee brace on my leg. This
Really?
girl had a knee brace on. She went up for a layup, and I looked down, and my leg's just bleeding all over.
Oh,
the
no.
place.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, it was disgusting. It was pretty bad for a couple of days, but it's all healed up now.
Okay,
so
good.
We're all
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
That's one that you just don't think is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
No, I looked down and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize it.
Must have been a pretty clean cut.
It was.
Well, very good. All right. Well, is there anything else you would like to tell our viewers while you're here?
I think so, yeah.
This has been fun talking to you. We appreciate you stopping by this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, it's our pleasure, and come back anytime.
Okay.
And you guys keep on keeping on. You guys are kicking butt. We appreciate that. All right, let's hear from another one of our friends, and we'll be back on the other side of that with our good friend Pete Wilson, who just walked in, and some news, and he has his red shirt on, which we all know what that means.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
Yes, there is a basketball game tonight. A little bit different. We're on the road tonight.
Uh-huh.
Normally, our games are all home, but we work a little road. We work a couple road games usually into the boys' schedule. And tonight, big game over in Chillytown. The Iron Men are going to play the Cavaliers. Both teams have winning records. Jackson is 9-3 right now. Lost a heartbreaker in double overtime to Wheelersburg on Tuesday, so they're coming off that. But on Friday, tonight, that game will be on WKOV 96.7 FM. A lot is on the line there. The Frontier Athletic Conference, Jennifer, has 6 teams. A lot of conferences are bigger, so every time you play a league or conference game, it's important.
Yes.
They all are big counters. Right now, Miami Trace, I'm not sure they've lost a game yet. The last time I checked, they had not lost a game. They're in first place. Everybody else is trying to catch them. Jackson has 1 loss. Chillicothe, I believe, has 2.
Okay.
So Jackson and Chillicothe are among the teams that still have a chance to tie or catch Miami Trace. But the margin for error is very small. And, of course, Chillicothe is very capable of beating the Ironmen, and it's on their home court. So this will be a good one for us to broadcast.
Sure.
And Dan Morrow and I will be there with that broadcast. We imagine just about the regular time for our boys' broadcast, sometime after 7 o'clock, probably no later than 7:30.
Are the boys basketball games? Does the media team do boys basketball?
I think so.
Do they stream that?
Home games. I'm not sure about away games.
Okay.
No, I understand that we will not be streaming away games.
Okay. Home games.
Different logistics and all like that.
Yeah.
But most of our broadcasts are streamed, so that's an added benefit for our viewers, listeners,
Yes.
and of course our advertisers.
But you can hear Dan, and Pete call the game tonight, which should be a good one.
It should be a very good one, actually. Okay, all right. Some other news to talk about. Yesterday, we told you about the fire on 2nd Street in Wellston. We didn't know a whole lot about it then. Well, since then, Jeremiah Shaver has tracked down some information on that. So yesterday, we were able to show you a picture of that fire. It was at the home of Eli Workman, which is at 307 West 2nd Street. Damage was pretty heavy. There it is. We're flashing that up again. And just as an aside, you notice the fire truck there, it's blue. That's the famous Spirit truck.
Yeah, their new truck.
That Wellston has just received. It hasn't been in service for very long, and obviously it's Rocket Land, so they got a blue fire truck. It works just like the red ones. Mm-hmm. So they got a blue fire truck, and you can even see the blue and gold bumper there as well. But cool. You look behind there, and you see the heavy damage to that home of sad. Eli Workman. I understand he lives there with his son. Neither was there when the fire occurred. The Wellston Fire Department says unknown cause. It is being investigated on the cause there. When the fire department arrived, because this is at 12:04 a.m., just after midnight on Thursday. So it was a very bad thing, and I know that the fire was considered to be pretty much destroyed as far as the house. You can see the heavy damage on the exterior, and obviously, whenever you have a fire. You have, besides the fire damage, which is visible, you have smoke and water damage.
Sure.
And sometimes, furnishings and like that, you can't restore them. So we'll have the complete story on that in our edition on Saturday. We already have that story online as well. All right, we mentioned Blake Woodyard yesterday, and I'm going to come back to him. because I want people to understand how special it is to bowl a 300 game, let alone the fact that you're a high school sophomore.
Exactly.
I didn't know what grade he was. Well, I found out this morning he is a sophomore. And guess what? Earlier, not too much before this, he bowled a 298. So he nearly got a 300 game that time too.
Boy, what a gifted young man.
But here's the odds. A perfect game, you need 12 strikes, right?
Yeah.
12 strikes in a row. The odds of bowling a 300 game are 11,500 to 1.
He should be playing the lottery, shouldn't he?
For a pro that makes a living doing it, 460 to 1. So
for a pro.
So just think this: the best bowler in the world has to bowl 460 games to get a 300 game. So I'm just trying to bring into perspective how special this was.
And he's a sophomore.
I actually ran into him last night at Kroger. He works there, obviously part-time. And he had actually saw our remarks on television and thanked us for that.
Oh, that's
and
sweet.
we certainly wished him the best in the upcoming season. But it sounds like just a sophomore. I mean, who knows? He may be a professional bowler someday.
Yeah, I think he's well on his way.
Scott Kilgore is the coach, and of course, there is both a boys and girls bowling team at Jackson.
Yes.
There also is at Vinton County, by the way, and I think both of those teams are doing pretty good this season. So, congratulations especially to Blake, and congratulations to all those kids who are bowling. That's one winter sport where you don't have to worry about freezing your tail off.
You do not, and that's great.
All right. Okay. Some other things to touch on real quickly. You heard a lot of talk there when, the snow was flying. We had all that snow about mail delivery getting disrupted. Some people wondered what was going on. Well, the post office here in Jackson posted this information. They didn't really release it to us, but of course it's kind of out there publicly because they wanted the public to know. They've since removed it. So I think that, this message, this status that they had has been resolved now that, it's been several days since the snow. But they did acknowledge that there were experienced in mail delivery. It wasn't all at the local post office. It's the whole chain of how the mail moves.
Yes.
But they had postings. They had a letter explaining that they were experiencing delays in mail delivery due to the weather situation that was affecting multiple states and slowing transportation. It's kind of just like the airlines when they have trouble. One thing can affect another.
Yeah, it's a chain effect.
It's a chain reaction,
Sure.
right. But they said that they had been overwhelmed with calls, people wondering what the situation was, the delay was. There is the Jackson Post Office, by the way. I think that building goes back to 1913, by the way. But the staff asked the community to be patient. That letter was posted through a period on the front doors. Following the winter storms, it was taken down yesterday.
Okay.
So I think we're back to normal now. But it was indeed a problem. It wasn't your imagination or the fact that the mailman couldn't get to you or wouldn't get to you because there's snow on the walk and like that.
They weren't
'Cause technically
picking on
you're supposed to clear the way, but that wasn't the problem. It was just everything together on how
all the logistical
all
nightmare
the mail
of that.
moves, because even the local mail goes to other places. It just doesn't go into the post office and then right to your door through the mailman.
You're right, and in my experience, of course, I live out and have a rural mailbox and a pretty long driveway, so they just left, because I was expecting a package, and they just left me a note in the mailbox with my regular mail that said, if you could, we can't get down your driveway. If you would, just stop by the post office.
Okay, well that was a nice
pick it up.
notification.
And I'm like, cool.
That's the next best thing, because
I was fine with that. I get it.
well, everybody, is looking for their mail. They want to pay their bills on time. There may be important messages, notifications coming.
Sure.
So, it's you take it for granted, but it's a big deal. And you're thinking about, I know that government always takes a lot of slams, but how about everybody was affected in that snow for a day or two.
For sure.
So, the Pony Express isn't going to be 100% either.
Agreed.
So, but anyway, that was the explanation from the Jackson Post Office, and I don't know whether there was messages put out by other post offices, but my guess is all the post offices were affected to a degree there. All right, important message coming out of Vinton County from their terrific county auditor, Cindy Wall. She posted this on Facebook, and gave us permission to do a story in the paper. There is Cindy, by the way. She is the vice president of the County Association of Auditors in the state. So she is well thought of by her peers across the state. But anyway, she put out a very detailed explanation so people understood, because most people don't, about tax bills, why they go up sometimes.
Sure.
And it's not just because, somebody passes a tax levy. That's one reason. But the other reason is the value of your real estate.
Yep.
And that's determined on two different things that come along the way. Not only the value of your property, but the overall market value, which is determined in a reappraisal that takes place every 6 years, and then a triennial update, which takes place in between. Well, Vinton County had its triennial update last year. That's when they did all the crunching and the appraising, and they looked at the market values of real estate. And as you know, the last 2 or 3 years, real estate skyrocketed. And so I know you might not have your property for sale, or maybe you didn't buy any property and you didn't pay attention to the market, but it's going to affect your property.
Absolutely.
Because whether you know it or not, your property is probably worth more.
It is.
Because in general, real estate is worth more. And so she put out a Facebook explaining the whole process. And since tax bills will be going out within the next 2 weeks, and they're already online, by the way, on the Vinton County Auditor's website if you want to check it out, she just wanted people to know up front that the tax bills are going to be higher and why.
Okay.
I mean, it's not automatic, but it's all a market thing.
They probably will be.
And because of how the market trends, the availability of total housing, low interest rates, all those were triggers for higher real estate values. So anyway, that information, we're going to have a detailed story in our Saturday paper. And she also has that information on her Facebook page. A lot of the information that she put out, we used in the story because it certainly affects a lot of people. All right, we want to do another big cheer for our cheerleaders.
Yay!
Okay, the Jackson competition cheerleaders. That's the high school competition cheerleaders under Courtney Butcher, under coaches Courtney Butcher and Tiffany Boggs. Went to a competition in Marysville last Sunday.
Okay.
Also, Toria Brown, who has the middle school competition cheerleaders, took her cheerleaders up there, and they both kicked butt, as you like to say.
Did they? Awesome.
Right. These are your varsity cheerleaders. They were first in their division, and they are, once again, state champs. Now, this isn't a rerun from another Main Street TV show. This is a different state championship. They
That's
just
awesome.
keep doing it.
Woohoo.
And what Courtney Butcher, in my communications I have with her, she always wants to point this out. I know this is behind the scenes because the competitions aren't local or anything. They travel a good bit for these competitions, even the state competitions. She wants to emphasize how hard these girls work. And even though it's not a sanctioned sport, like football or basketball or girls basketball or whatever, they work very hard.
Yes, they do.
And obviously, because they do gymnastics, that's part of it, routines, synchronized stuff, very important. They simulate cheers that are in games and like that in different categories. But these girls, not just this year, but the past several years, they consistently win at these competitions.
Yes, they do.
So that is something we need to acknowledge that. We'll have their picture in Saturday paper, as well as the middle school cheerleaders under Toria Brown. There they are. These are girls in grades 7 and 8, and in 2 different categories. They were first place in the state in one category and third place in the state in another category.
Nice.
And so, my guess is some of those young faces right there will be in varsity uniforms in a year or two. So we really need to take our hats off to the Jackson cheerleading program. Just because you're a varsity or junior high or middle school cheerleader doesn't mean you're automatically a competition cheerleader, but it's mostly the same girls.
Yeah.
This is another level of activity. So as you can see by the varsity girls especially, a lot of girls involved in that. We have their pictures and their names and their coaches' names in Saturday's paper. They certainly deserve the attention. All right. I also want to do a little tribute to a lady that a lot of people knew, Some people didn't know, and if you didn't know her, you need to hear this. Rebecca Chapman Stroth. She died on January the 8th at the age of 77, I think it was. 77. There she is. Becky was the eldest daughter of Ed Chapman Jr. and Betty Chapman. The Chapman family owned the local newspapers, the Jackson Publishing Company newspapers, for several decades. Very important family in town. Becky was the eldest daughter, was very active in the newspaper business. And after the Chapman family sold the publishing company and the newspaper business to an outside chain, and since then there's been a succession of different chains that own our local newspapers. And of course now we're locally owned again by Total Media. Becky was just well respected within the family and in the community. She was a behind the scenes person doing a lot of things, not in the news department necessarily, but just on the business end, on the advertising end. She was a great representative for the family and just a worker bee and just very community oriented. After her family sold the newspaper, she stayed active in the community. She was one of the family members that were involved in a business called the Liberty Press that did some printing after they got out of the newspaper business. But all the way after that, she was always very active in the community. And after a fairly long illness, she died on January the 8th. And just a real good community person who, when her family owned the newspaper, she was one of the pillars.
I feel like that's such an appropriate picture because when I think of Becky, that's exactly what I would think of. That smile and her just lighting up.
Right. Yeah. And she would write some columns in the newspapers even after she was out of it. And very, very good writer, very extensive on her research. She was just one of those people, who loved Jackson and tried to give a lot back. All right, a couple other things real quickly. The Jackson County Farmers Club. I think that this was mentioned there when Maddie and Josh were in. But the Farmers Club is going to have a meeting next Tuesday. They meet once a month. This is a special one. It's going to be up at the high school, and they're going to kind of tour where the FFA does its stuff.
Super cool.
Exactly.
Is that in Jackson?
It is at Jackson High School. They'll get to tour the current shop and see what the FFA students are learning. The FFA students are going to serve a meal. If you want the meal, the cost is only $5. And that will start at 6:30 p.m. And then, there will be the tour afterwards. Everybody is welcome to attend. You don't have to be a club member necessarily. That's the way I read this. But you need to call Josh Winters, our excellent agriculture extension agent, so they can kind of plan a little bit. That number is 740-688-5029. The little blurb on that we have online, and it's been in the paper. We're going to try to get it in the paper on Saturday, too, because, you do have to register in advance. And we do want to remind you, the Indoor Trade Fair is taking place both Saturday and Sunday. Looks like the weather is going to be favorable.
Finally, they get good weather.
Right, and that's going to be Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and 9 a.m. On Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. And this is going to be out at the Cantor's Cave Big Lodge building out there. So it's beautiful out there any time of the year. But like we talked about yesterday, it is even if you don't want to buy anything or you're not a hobbyist or whatever,
it is so
it is
cool.
very interesting to go see all those things they have for sale.
And it's living history, and take the kids and let them participate in it as well, because they might pick something up along the way.
Right, and it's only
learn something.
It's only $4 to get in, and I'm not sure whether they still do this or not, but I know in the past they've made donations to Cantor's Cave and the 4-H, and to Cantor's Cave, which of course supports the 4-H program.
Absolutely.
So
Very
you're
cool.
doing a good thing just doing that, just going and showing up. And I think they'll have food service out there too.
Yep. And Cantor's Cave is pretty anytime.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, Pete, thank you so much. Thank you for being the voice of the Ironmen in advance tonight. We appreciate that as well. And I know so many other people do, that they can kind of, if they can't make it to the game, they can still feel part of it. And, of course, letting us know what's going on in the news.
Right. And, another thing, I'm going to mention this. There's going to be a lot put out on this. because just all the details were kind of pulled together here in the last 24 hours. But this is very special. You know, you got the big game on Monday night, Ohio State and Notre Dame facing each other.
Monday, yes. That national championship game.
Yeah, it's the natty.
Yeah.
It's the natty, as they say. But what a way to watch that game, and this would be so special, is on the big screen at Danbury Cinema in Chillicothe. All those details, all those details have been worked out. We'll have some promotion on the radio, in the paper. I imagine maybe even on Main Street TV on Monday, because the game is 7:30 p.m. on Monday night. But you can get tickets in advance. Admission price. They'll have combo deals for refreshments and all like that. And everybody thinks about watching the game or going to the bar or the restaurant or whatever. You can see it on the big screen.
Oh man, that'd be a way to see it. That's for sure.
This is the national telecast by ESPN. I don't know how they lined all that up, but they were able to pull it together.
That's awesome.
So pay attention to our media platforms for all the details on that. But that's just over in Chillicothe, just 35 minutes away.
There you go. All right. Well, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Enjoy some warmer temperatures before it really hits the fan on Monday. And we go right back down into single digits. But that's okay. A couple of warm days in our future. So have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you right back here on Monday. Bye-bye.